In a bustling city, a place teeming with millions of stories, dreams and aspirations, where the energy of human endeavor pulses through every street and alleyway. Alex, a young man with a heart full of hope and a mind brimming with ideas, dreamed of building something truly special, something that transcended the digital divide and genuinely connected people on a deeper level. He envisioned a platform, a digital haven, a virtual Seeking to understand the intricacies of human interaction and the dynamics of online communities. Hours melted away as he immersed himself in the power of human connection was unshakable, a fortress against the storms of doubt and but potentially the lives of countless others. Alex pitched his idea with hope, a vision burning bright in his eyes. He believed in his concept, had poured his heart and soul into its development and was ready to share it with the world. He meticulously prepared his presentation, anticipating tough questions and crafting compelling answers. He stepped into the room, expecting investors to see its brilliance, to recognize the potential that he knew was there. He imagined them nodding in agreement, their faces lighting up with excitement as they grasped the innovative nature of his venture. Instead, he faced cold boardrooms, environments that seemed to suck the very air of enthusiasm from the room. The atmosphere was formal, the lighting harsh, and the faces across the table were unreadable and sharper skepticism. Every question felt like an accusation, every silence a judgment. The investor scrutinized his projections, poked holes in his business model, and challenged his assumptions. Rejections piled up, each one a blow to his morale, a dent in his armor. The initial sting of disappointment soon gave way to a gnawing sense of frustration and self-doubt. Too risky, they said. Unwilling to take a chance on something new and unproven. Too crowded, they claimed, suggesting the market was already saturated and there was no room for another player. Too ambitious. His grand vision, once a source of pride, was now being used against him, portrayed as unrealistic and unattainable. Each no chipped away at his confidence, eroding his belief in himself and his idea. The constant negativity began to take its toll, leaving him feeling drained and discouraged, and self-doubt crept in, whispering insidious questions in his ear. Was he good enough? Was his idea truly viable? Was he wasting his time and energy on a pipe dream? Nights grew longer, filled with endless revisions and desperate attempts to salvage his plan. Sleep became a luxury he could no longer afford, replaced by the relentless pressure to succeed. Savings dwindled as he poured every last penny into his struggling venture. The financial strain added another layer of stress to an already overwhelming situation. And instant noodles became dinner, a symbol of his increasingly precarious financial situation. He sacrificed everything, including his own well-being, for the sake of his dream. Friends and family urged him to quit, their voices filled with concern and worry. They saw him struggling, sacrificing, and suffering, and they couldn't bear to watch him continue down this path. To get a real job, a stable and secure position that would provide him with a steady income and a sense of normalcy. Their concern felt like another rejection, a subtle but painful reminder that they didn't understand his passion or his vision. Alone, Alex questioned everything, his sanity, his judgment, his very purpose. Was he chasing a fool's errand? Was he destined to fail, his idea wondering if it was truly as innovative and groundbreaking as he believed, or just a figment of his imagination? His abilities, doubting whether he possessed the skills, the knowledge, and the resilience to overcome the challenges ahead. His future, uncertain about what lay ahead and whether he would ever achieve his dreams. The path forward seemed shrouded in darkness, filled with obstacles and uncertainties. The dream that once inspired him now felt like a burden, a weight dragging him down and crushing his spirit. But even as the world told him to give up, as doubt and despair threatened to consume him, something inside refused to let go, a flicker of hope that stubbornly persisted in the face of overwhelming adversity. He stood at a crossroads, a pivotal moment where he had to choose between two vastly different paths. Surrender and accept defeat, or fight on and continue to pursue his dream against all odds. The pressure was immense, threatening to crush him under its weight. But so was his resolve, fueled by a deep-seated belief in himself and his vision. Alex chose to keep going, to push forward despite the pain, the doubt, and the uncertainty. He decided to embrace the gauntlet of rejection, knowing that it was a necessary part of the journey to success. Rejection didn't break Alex, it forged him. With no investors, he invested his time and effort, working harder than ever. His flat became a command center, sleep was rare, days blurred into nights of coding, learning and refining. Freelance gigs paid the bills, but ConnectSphere was his obsession. Every bug fixed, every feature built, rebuilt his confidence. He learned grit wasn't about one heroic act, but thousands of small unseen efforts. No applause, no shortcuts, just relentless work. Through exhaustion, he found resilience. He was no longer just a dreamer, he was a builder. The struggle made him stronger. After months of toil, Alex met Eleanor Vance, an investor who looked beyond numbers. He presented not just an idea, but a working prototype, proof of his commitment. Eleanor's questions probed his resolve, not just his business plan. She saw the grit in his story and the passion in his eyes. "I'm in," she said, words Alex had almost stopped hoping to hear. It wasn't millions, but it was validation and a lifeline. With her support, ConnectSphere became a real company. He hired a small team, moved out of his flat, and watched users sign up. The lonely nights gave way to collaborative days. The turning point had arrived, earned through perseverance. Just as ConnectSphere gained momentum, a giant competitor, Synapse, entered the scene. Synapse had money users and a massive team they could outspend and outbuild Alex's company. Their aggressive marketing and free service threatened everything Alex had built. growth stalled, anxiety rose, and doubt returned. The temptation to sell and walk away was real, but Alex gathered his team, acknowledged the fear, and reminded them of their purpose. They weren't here to copy a giant, they were here to build something authentic. He refused to quit. This wasn't the end, but a new challenge. The team rallied around their mission. They would not be intimidated. This was their defining moment. David would face Goliath once more. Alex knew he couldn't outspend Synapse, so he chose to out-innovate. The team focused on what made them unique, genuine connection and community. They worked tirelessly, perfecting every detail of the user experience. Alex led by example, responding to users personally and hosting weekly town halls. Features were built from user feedback, not corporate roadmaps. Users became advocates, feeling like true partners in the platform. Word-of-mouth growth returned as people sought authenticity over slick marketing. ConnectSphere's reputation grew quietly but powerfully. Synapse couldn't replicate their community bond. Innovation and care became their secret weapons. The team's passion turned the tide. They were changing the rules of the game. Undeniably life-changing, a sum that could secure the future of everyone involved. It represented a level of wealth and security that many could only dream of. Or stay true to their original mission, risking everything to build something truly meaningful. It was a decision that would define them, both as individuals and as a company. Alex come to depend on the company. Selling to Synapse would mean abandoning his original vision, relinquishing control over the company's future, and potentially compromising the values that on the offer from Synapse. Instead, he unveiled a bold and ambitious plan to double down on independence, to forge their own path forward, and to their vision. In the end, Alex chose purpose over profit, prioritizing the long-term vision of ConnectSphere over the short-term allure of financial gain. Inspired for ConnectSphere's future had just begun. Alex's gamble paid off. The new initiative, Tools for Private Secure Communities, was a hit. ConnectSphere's user base exploded with dedicated, loyal groups. The media hailed them as innovators who outsmarted a giant. Synapse couldn't compete on trust or authenticity and quietly pivoted away. The ConnectSphere team celebrated with quiet pride. Their victory was built on heart, ingenuity, and community. Alex's success was the result of relentless effort, not luck or genius. He became a mentor, sharing his story as proof that perseverance matters most. His triumph was a message: success is built, not found. Alex's story isn't about superhuman talent, it's about passion and perseverance. The road to your dreams will be winding, filled with setbacks and doubt. Challenges aren't signs to stop. They're what make you stronger. Your dream is unique. Don't let lack of resources or talent hold you back. Grit is your greatest asset, the will to keep going when it's hardest. Remember Alex, coding through the night, refusing to surrender. Resilience is a choice made every day. Don't wait for luck. Ignite your passion and embrace the struggle. Success isn't fate. It's earned through relentless effort. The path is there. Have the courage to walk it. Your story is waiting to be written by you.